up, run it up, let it go. You move on, move out, you never know.
Welcome back to Slim Charlie Records, the podcast. I am here with someone who I have worked with myself and have so much love for, the John Tyler. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself, tell us your name, where you're from, what do you do?
Yeah, indeed. I like that. The John Tyler. I feel important.
Okay, you are.
But my name is John Tyler. I'm from West Baltimore, specifically Holmes Heights. And we can get into that too.
Okay.
I'm a producer, film composer, entrepreneur. I own the Love Groove Festival and partner with a lot of other artists and organizations. So yeah.
Amazing. So you said you was going to get into, so what's so special about Holmes Heights? Like, what does that mean?
Oh yeah, I love this. So Holmes Heights is this like little all black neighborhood, or it used to be before it was gentrified.
Okay.
In the middle of like Hamden, which if you don't know, that's like pretty much lower class white people. Mm-hmm. And then Roland Park, which is middle and upper class white people, and then in the middle you just have this black neighborhood, or once was, and it was started. The story goes, after the Civil War, this guy named Mr. Hose came here, started a farm, and had it reserved for black veterans to come and live, and they started building homes for black folks, and that was passed down to my family.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that house has been in the family since like maybe the early 1900s.
Yeah.
So a long time.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Okay, deep background for a super deep person, like Holmes Heights, everybody.
We started off with that.
So tell us about your latest projects and what they mean to you.
Ooh, this is okay. So right now I've been working on this project called MDC. And we'll find out the meaning of that when it comes out. And
Love a secret.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's really kind of special to me because I got to, as an artist, when you make music, a lot of times you unpack stuff. And this was like really unpacking my childhood, my actions, why I act this way, how I was raised. Different stuff like that. Things that are hard to have a conversation, generally, and putting into music. And also, like, I've been doing a lot of big string arrangements. So the project is filled with like these giant string sections and giant guitar sections and like everything.
Live instruments.
Yeah, most definitely. And it was like my first time like working with like violins and violas and like cellos and stuff. And making it like cool. And actually that was inspired by, this is a crazy story. Oh man, I don't remember his last name. But I was going through, the YouTube world, and I discovered this classical composer named Joseph something. I don't remember his last name. Composer from like the 1700s. Okay. And he was a black composer, and born in France during the middle of like slavery, and his dad was a slave master. His mom was from West Africa, and his dad actually took in his mom and himself and like raised him, put him through fencing school. He ended up, this is like a true story, he ended up being the best fences in France and like beat everybody. And then he ended up being like the best composer and the best violinist, and he even got invited to go from France to London to play for the Queen. Like, this is all done when black people were like down bad.
Right. Okay.
And he like wrote these amazing compositions. And I never liked classical music. But then it was for some reason when I saw him, I was listening, I was like, dang, this smacks.
I'm about to say, classical music theory, freshman in college, changed my life.
For real?
Like, I'm pretty sure we probably heard his name at some point, but classical music I definitely have a deep appreciation for that. So I'm glad that you got on that.
No, that's real. And I feel like I just didn't like it just because I only saw, white niggas and
Sure.
white niggas in like wigs.
Yes.
And like Like I was just like, what is this? What was this era? Like what were y'all doing? And you know, now having like a black person, you know, having representation, I was so into it, and then that made me want to do giant string sections. So that's why this new project, to tie that back in, is gonna happen.
Well, that sounds like something that we all need to look out for. Definitely. Yeah. So, well, I guess you just kind of told us like the inspiration came from just, you know, you growing up, basically, just what it was like for you.
Yeah.
So, what is right now your favorite genre to explore? What do you consider yourself best at?
Ooh. So I've been really into this genre that I've been creating. I haven't really heard it done to how I want to hear it. It's called punk. I'm calling it punk jazz.
Punk jazz.
Yeah, and it's I don't even know how to explain it. It's one of those things you gotta like hear it and see it to believe it, or understand it.
You hear it to believe it.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting. In my next project, you'll like hear all of that.
And so is that what you feel like you're best at right now? Punk jazz?
Yeah, punk jazz is really where I'm at. Because they're both, I kind of find them similar in the sense of they're both liberation music. You know, created to express yourself musically. You know, that's what black folks were doing in the early 20s through 60s.
Well, jazz is the root to everything.
Oh, yeah. Nah, like
jazz
literally.
is everything. Jazz is life, people.
Yeah.
So.
That's a fact. And same thing with the punk music, like the early 60s, like it was very liberation, rebellion, you know, going against, you know, government politics that were going against the people.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would just kind of find it interesting that this wasn't, you know, kind of merged before to the way I think it should be. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for that answer. So, what sets you apart from other artists, and what has been your greatest or favorite achievements up until this point?
Yeah, what sets me apart from other artists? That's a really great question.
That is a bragging question. Because everybody that comes on here, like, needs to know you're the truth. Like,
what?
You're the stuff. So I'm going to give you a question where you can brag your butt off.
I appreciate that. So I guess I was going to say, the first thing that comes to mind, I guess, is I kind of do all the jobs myself. Yeah, which is very important for people that's not an artist. If you know, don't, like, for example, say I'm just like a singer, but I don't know how to write, then you gotta hire a songwriter. Yeah. But then you need music, you gotta hire a producer. Yeah. Then you gotta go hire a place to record. Then you gotta hire the engineer to record you, and then you gotta hire the mixing and mastering.
Jobs.
Yeah. And then, you know, come to release, then you gotta, you know, shoot it. Yeah. You know, take the photo shoot or hire an illustrator to draw you, and then you gotta pay for copyrights and videos. Like that's like at least that's like $1,500, like right there.
Right there. That's a tab, like. Yeah,
like you have no connections if you're not friends with nobody. That you spending a lot. So and I do a lot of the production part. Yeah. Like the engineering, the recording, playing guitar, bass, and now like saxophone and drums. So I do a lot of all of that myself and a lot of the arrangements myself, along with the recording. And I think my new title I like is the vocal arrangements, because even when I produced for you, how you call me Kanye when I like had you
I think it's called Kanye.
The giant harmony stuff.
That changed my whole entire way of making music. Yeah. By the way, like it made me better.
Yeah, it smacks. It smacks.
Made me better. So for sure, this is the one-man band right here. Okay, he know everything. I think he know more than Kanye, to be honest.
Oh man, that's a giant.
My bad. Let me stop over here.
You're gonna have the Ye fans in your comment section.
No, we love Kanye over here. I mean, I know I do, but
you know, it's funny. I actually just really got into him.
Yeah. In what way would you say?
So I didn't grow up on Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on everyone that liked Kanye, like Childish Gambino, like Tyler the Creator, like a Janelle Monáe, and I just never really no one was really bumping him like that where I was at. Like in the neighborhood, they were bumping like Lil Wayne, YG, all the Baltimore rappers, and like in the house, my mom listened to like jazz and blues and stuff, and like Michael Jackson. So he wasn't just really in my radar.
Right.
And I listened to Yeezus. You like Yeezus?
We love Yeezus.
Yeezus, it really it really shocked me. I was like, whoa, I didn't know. This is crazy. And then I went to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and
I listened to that a lot in high school.
808s. And literally, as I was listening, I was like, wow, this is literally everything that, like, this sounds like everything I grew up listening to and love. Like, I can tell, like, he's like the father of, like,
he's a genius.
Of all these different avenues.
For sure.
Yeah, despite, like, you know, taking out all of the media stuff of, you know, him going on rants and all the, you know, the Jewish stuff and taking all of that out, leave that out. Leave that out. We talk about just the music. Yeah, it was fire.
Yeah, for sure. I've been a Kanye fan for so long, but I definitely feel like he was one of the artists that helped me through high school.
Oh wow, really?
He's so himself. Like, he's so expressive. Like, he's so expressive. Like, he be in his feelings, and it's like kind of like Drake, maybe off of like some steroids or something like that. Like, cause you know Kanye be wildin'. But
you know, you're like the fifth person to say that.
Really?
That Kanye got them through high school. I'm sure there's like millions of people that feel that way. Oh, you know what I just listened to today?
Tell us.
Like, this is the one thing I do remember about my day.
Okay.
I was bumping the Sunday service choir. It was so good. I did not know.
This choir is good. They're amazing. Not know.
And there was one song on this live performance, and it was such a beautifully shot performance. It was like the piano player in the middle, and the choir was around them, and different circular, you know, forms. Yeah. And then the crowd was all around. I was like, wow, this is actually fire. And it was a song that was just, I played it like 10 times back to back.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, like
back to back.
What's your like back to back song?
For him?
Right, in general.
In general, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, this probably gonna sound mad crazy, but I've been playing Ice Spice Princess Diana.
You know what's crazy?
For like a few days.
You know what's crazy? And this was gonna be before I walked in, I was just watching her interview.
Yo.
And so when I was in Puerto Rico, we're driving, and you know, she's everywhere right now. And I was like, let me listen to this project. And I actually rock with it heavy.
Yo, she lit.
Like, from top to bottom, that whole project, I thought it was just gonna be like Munch, and that's like the best one.
Right.
But the whole project, I'm like,
that joint went off with a kick.
It did.
Her producer was in his bag.
He was. But he needed to be, because, you know, she kind of had like the same tone and flow throughout the whole project, but the production was so crazy that it made it work so well.
It really did.
Yeah, like, top to bottom.
Definitely got my phase, but I could get through that whole thing.
Yeah.
I got through it a few times.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, but listen to Princess Diana back to back.
Yeah, Ice Spice smacks.
Yeah, so I'm proud of her. I'm happy for her. But so, just circling back to that second part of the question. So, what have been your favorite or greatest achievements up until this point? Because we know you have many more to come, many more great achievements to come. But just, you know, just thinking about where you started years ago up until now, like, what do you feel like has been your greatest moment? More than one, if you have one.
Yeah, definitely more than one. Off the top of my head, because this was recent, I was, you know, so for my festival, we had like a team meeting with like everybody, around these 3 giant tables that we connected together. And I'm like at the head of the table. And like just kind of like looking down, like, whoa. I had a moment where I was like, wait, whoa.
This is like the Last Supper. Like
yeah. It was like, whoa. And just the fact that like when all of these people are employed because of this, and all of these people are here from an idea I had in math class in 11th grade. That was a moment like, whoa.
Yes.
That honestly threw me off.
Definitely a whoa moment.
Yeah. And personally, let me think of a personal goal. There's really so many.
I know.
Cause I honestly don't take things for granted. Cause like it is truly. We was just talking about this before the cameras on.
I know.
It is hard. It is so hard to be an artist and creative and to do it full time, and let alone you being in school and having a job, and it takes me back to my moments, my first year in college at Bowie, having going to catching I used to commute, so I would have to go and catch the MARC train to Bowie at like 6 a.m. to get there for my 7 a.m. class, and be in school until 2, and then take it back home to be at work at 3, then go to my next job, my night job at the studio as an engineer. That was like a hard time.
That's like the grind.
Yeah, that was like
called the grind.
It was really the grind. So like just even now, just to be able to like my daily life is waking up and okay, how's this idea gonna come to life?
How am I gonna get to it?
Yeah. So not having like a real job, be able to pay rent, be able to provide food in my household. Yeah. And not even like on something like I'm a millionaire, or even like I have like
this inflation is
crazy.
Yeah. Like, if you were able to get some groceries, like you doing something right.
Yeah.
I don't care.
We shop and I save a lot, so it's not even like we not at Whole Foods yet. So
not quite yet. Man, I was at Mom's Organic for the first time a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you sent the bag.
What? I got a little bit of stuff. I got some stuff that lasts for a few days. I was desperate to eat healthy.
Yeah.
But when I got in there, the prices were shocking. Like,
yeah.
I was shocked.
Bro, it's so expensive to eat healthy, and it's like so cheap to eat bad.
And I'm sure that at some point the healthy food probably costed a little less, but with inflation, it's like even the healthy food now just seems like a hot commodity. Like, it's crazy.
Nah, it is. I remember reading an article about this, like something like there's not many farms here, so the reason healthy food's more expensive and like all these healthy spices because they have to be shipped.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all imported.
Yeah.
Eggs ain't even the same. My eggs have been like so hard to crack. I'm dead serious. Like it's like a little resistance.
You gotta get the brown eggs.
I have brown eggs, and they're from the organic place, but like there's something wrong with them.
Did you know they dye it?
Not even surprised.
I just found out in Puerto Rico, I didn't know they dye oranges.
Here or there?
Here. They're naturally green, and then you open them up and they're orange. But they, someone was telling me like they dye it because green is not marketable, and orange is better more people will buy based on the color.
I guess that's kind of true.
I didn't fact check that.
Me personally, I like green.
Yeah.
Green is attractive. Green means go. green means buy. So
yeah, that's a fact. Green means healthy.
I would get them, but
yeah, crazy things.
So, where do you want to take your career in the end? Where do you want to be? Who and what do you want to be?
In the end, like I honestly just want to be known as the guy that like was looking out, but out of love though, not like I'm doing it to have the image of being being this great guy, but then behind closed doors, yada yada.
Yeah.
But like actually out of genuine love, like I honestly this is gonna go back to your other question of achievements. Like my favorite part of the festival of when having like new artists, because I remember
Yeah.
this memory of this band Deja Vu, their indie rock band based here, when they performed at the second Love Groove. I remember all of their parents, and Royale was in the bass player in that band.
Mm-hmm.
All of their parents coming up to me and saying like, "Wow, this like changed my perspective, and I see music as like a career. And I never seen my child like this."
Yeah.
And it just I have that story with lots of artists, not even in music, like in art too. Like I remember we had a graphic designer, and I think we paid them like $400 to make the flyer and then like something else.
Mm-hmm.
And them just being like, you actually have no idea the highest I've ever been paid is $30 for like a graphic design. Like this changing
people's lives.
Like this changed my perspective on things, and like
right.
so just being known as a guy who who's reachable and that can help.
Looking at
I think it's great. But in terms of my solo career, most definitely like going to Puerto Rico last week, like I want to travel everywhere. I want to perform everywhere. I want to learn languages.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work. I really want to do soundtracks for movies. That's like.
And you definitely is going to get into that bag.
No, for real.
People be loving you. People be rocking with you when you come to the soundtrack. So
Yeah,
you're going to get that. You're going to secure that for sure.
No, that's a fact. Like I've been working with a lot of local directors, and even in New York, and I'm all of them. I see the way I see everybody. Like I know it's hard now, but like literally 6 years from now, where everyone's just gonna be in such a great position, and this film director I'm working with now is gonna be the new Spike Lee, and I'm gonna be the new Hans Zimmer. He's a famous film composer. If you don't know him.
Anyone named Hans is definitely a composer.
Most definitely.
He sure is.
Most definitely. Yeah, Hans.
Yeah, but that guy is super fancy and smart, and whatever he does sounds great. So, but that actually is funny because I did have that in these questions. Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? And what do you want for yourself just out of this year?
Excuse me. Yeah, the next 2 years, the way we're working with the festival stuff, I've recruited folks from like Artscape and Afropunk and a bunch of different other events to help me turn the festival into like a real thing.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be for 2024.
Okay.
So by that time, we're gonna be able to stand next to festivals, which is gonna be great. And it's also gonna be for like the local talent too.
Right.
So we gonna be like, it's gonna just have bigger platforms to showcase folks and to compensate folks. Like it'd be great, like it'd be great, as an artist, and like, okay, let's book Osley on, and then give you like a $5K budget to perform for like 30 minutes. Like that's how. So part of the festival, when I was like kind of reaching out to bigger folks.
Yeah.
And almost every DMV artist that's like, that's in the mainstream, they all for like a 40-minute set, they all were asking for like 60K to 100K. 200K was the highest.
Dang, people be asking for that?
For 40 minutes of time.
60K?
Yeah.
40 minutes?
Ain't that crazy?
God damn.
That's like...
I ain't never ever seen that before.
Yeah, that's like half of West Baltimore's like yearly budget together.
That was the whole West Baltimore.
Like niggas is really making money like
I don't even think I ever made 60K in a year. Like
I haven't.
Definitely.
Soon.
Like more like half that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I actually oh man, I was thinking about this in December because I got 2 job opportunities I declined, and one of them was 75K and the other was 68K a year.
Why you saying that?
It was too. It was gonna take up my whole life.
Oh, not in a good way.
Yeah, it was gonna be like a like all like the music and Love Groove, like that was gonna be in the back burner. This was gonna be like my main thing.
Oh yeah, you don't want to put on the back burner the things that you love.
Yeah.
The things that you're passionate about.
But you know, looking at it from the money perspective, it definitely would have been nice.
Oh, it would have been.
It would have been way nice.
You'd
way
been at Whole Foods.
Yeah. no, most definitely at Whole Foods.
Shoot.
But you know, I feel like I made the right decision. And
Of course you did. Of course you did.
yeah.
Like, if you felt like you needed to turn that down, knowing what it could give you, like, and you still felt like you had to turn it down, like, you know you made the right decision. So, it don't matter. More job opportunities coming.
No,
and
that's a
money
fact.
coming from you, from yourself. Like, you don't even need anyone to offer because this is the money. This is the money. This is the money. Yeah. So, do you have a firm sense of self? What might you still be trying to figure out?
Do I have a firm sense of self?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to say so. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have days where I'm like, fuck this shit. Throw it in the trash. I be having days where I be like, bruh,
Yeah.
I don't think I can do this. Like, actually, just last before we went to Puerto Rico, I was talking to my girl. I was like, I've been doing this for a long time, bro. Like, I'm like beyond ready for the next, you know, big bag.
Yeah.
And I be having days where my mental just ain't right, but you know, I also had the opposite.
Yeah.
But in general, you know, I definitely say I'm pretty secure.
Okay.
I've been, you know, through the pandemic, I went through all my traumas, and you know, came out better. I went through traumas that I forgot I had. Like I was like really meditating and going through things.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna hear it through the music, and I was like, holy, like I thought that was a dream, and then I was reliving it like it was yesterday.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That be happening.
Yeah, it do. It do. Like, so, but I'm still, there's always room for, you know, work.
Of course.
So
Of course.
I'm going to stay humble.
But to say that you do have a sense of self right now, like a firm sense of it, is just a lot more than so many people like in our age bracket can say, especially just in a time like now where things are just so weird, everything's so digital, it's so easy to kind of just lose yourself in this realm, in this era of social media, and just with all the things that are going on just politically in our world. You know, it really is a blessing, I feel like, to know who you are, be confident in who you are, and be able to just kind of stand firm in that, in your beliefs and your morals and your ideals. So it's a blessing, definitely, and I'm glad that you have that. With as much as you have going on, like, and everything that you're able to do, I feel like you definitely would have to have some type of sense of just something that's stable in your life, something that you can cling to.
Yeah, most definitely.
And so when you even talking about, you know, you going through, you know, things during COVID and, you know, kind of seeing those traumas come back up, kind of brings up another question I was going to ask you, which was, what are some obstacles that you remember the most leading up to this point, and how did you find light in those dark times?
The biggest obstacle was most definitely acceptance. Cause so yeah, it's like going back to like my come up, you know, I was the very weird black kid. And you know that goes from my music taste, cause at the time, you know, you gotta think about like, you know, Baltimore in like 2007 to 2013.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, a lot of folks weren't, at least let me speak from my area, because I'm sure there's people that might have different experiences. You know, listening to punk music was crazy. You know, listening to rock, you know, listening to just all these different things, and then having this crazy fashion aesthetic, which is not crazy now,
yeah.
but at the time was crazy. Like,
yeah, definitely in some communities it would have been like
Yeah, even just these orange, like these, I'm wearing, I don't know if they can see it, these bright orange pants.
Yeah, they can see.
At that time, yeah, at that time, this was just like crazy, and like I had like pink shirts, and you know, people would question my sexuality, my blackness, the whole nine. And then I used to, you know, go into the Hamden areas, which was again more predominantly white, and those folks, you know, they be wearing whatever, they be listening to everything.
For sure.
But then I dealt with, you know, heavy discrimination, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows Hamden's history, racism history. So, you know, that being said, you know, my music was affected by the black and white kids. So when I put my first project out in 2016, it was just considered just weird because it was like this multi-genre album. And, you know, if everyone's listening to like Lil Wayne and like, you know, whatever punk band, to have this like rock / punk / jazz / hip hop project was just tremendously crazy and tremendously like bodaciously crazy. Like it was like it was wild, and not a lot of places. You know, the only places to perform was the open mics, the hip hop open mics. So doing those shows and like, you know, having to watch everyone stare at me like, what is this? Like you're. Like, what are you doing? Like, this sounds, and you know, this is insanity. And just trying to figure out my lane, my pathway, my community, which is funny enough because it ended up being, you know, all the communities.
For sure. You multicultural out here. So.
Yeah. So it just took a lot of growth, and we come a long way as a community in Baltimore. I feel like. Yeah.
I agree.
So. Yeah, that was definitely my biggest struggle, is just finding my lane and finding who myself was, because I really didn't know for a while.
And so at any point when you kind of received like those weird looks and those questions, did you ever like falter? Like did you ever like just think about changing who you were, or did you just keep going?
Oh yeah, I had So I had a rap collective in high school. It was called Country Ass Niggas. Can. Yeah.
That's country.
And I started because it was just something me and some of the other weird black kids used to say at my high school. Like, you know, country ass nigga.
I never heard that during my time in school. Right?
Yeah, it was literally between this, you know, it wasn't even really a friend group at the time. It was just niggas. Yeah. And we used to do heavy trap music. And that was me trying to be like what everybody liked.
Yeah.
And I tried to, you know, I started wearing do-rags and like, I mean, that's part of black culture.
Right.
But I felt like wearing it would allow me to fit in more, and wearing like white tees and True Religion jeans, spending all my money on jeans. You know, this was actually the moment. I remember in 8th grade at Roman Park. You know, I'm in. You know, our class is predominantly black. Actually, I wanted to address this. Roman Park, thinking back on it now, that school was pretty segregated. Thinking back that all the white kids and Asian kids were in yeah, literally all the white kids were in Ingenuity, and then all the black kids were in like the regular classes. And then at lunchtime, it would literally be white and black, like it was fully split.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so you know, as part of black culture, shoes is a big thing. And everyone had the nicest shoes, and I was wearing like Vans and stuff.
I was never that kid either. I never had a bunch of shoes.
For real? Yeah. So I remember cutting grass, making $30 out of a 6-hour day of cutting grass. With talk about down bad. I was down bad. It is, yo. That is crazy. Thinking back on it now. That's wild. That's literally insane. $30 for 6 hours of work, bro.
Cause cutting grass looks.
That's labor.
That's labor.
And then it was so funny because Mr. Tony is his name, the guy who used to cut grass in the neighborhood. I love Mr. Tony. He was basically a father figure to me. I watched him pull out 20s, 50s, $100 bills. Go ahead and grab it. And he does the thing, he like licks his finger, grabs a 20 to 10. Literally.
Take this here. Take yourself somebody.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wild.
But I remember like saving up to get into close to $200. So you do the math on how many days that is of cutting grass all day.
How many drops of sweat, tears, maybe.
Yeah, and I spent it all on Jordans. And I came into school. I wasn't feeling like myself. I felt unnatural.
Oh.
And then everybody started packing me, packing me in my shoes. Cause I also had like big feet. And I've been like I literally like I was 5'11" in like 7th grade, and my foot grew to 13, and just stopped like I haven't been the same size since.
Damn.
So like I was getting clowned. Everyone was saying, "What are these?" Like they.
You ain't get the right shoes.
I guess apparently not. Apparently not. I thought they was hard. I thought just cause they got the Jordan logo, it don't even matter what they are.
No, cause the Jordan community. They be playing, yo. Like,
that's a fact.
You gotta get the right ones because you supposed to wear them, but you ain't supposed to wear these kinds.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They was going crazy back then.
Damn.
But that was the moment I was like, bro, this is the last time I'm falling for like society pressures of trying to do something.
Yes. That
I think they would like, that they didn't even like.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a great life lesson.
That builds character right there.
It does, yo.
Okay.
It does.
Cause kids be mean. I swear, like I definitely dealt with some of that in middle and high schools as well. Kids, parents, I don't know, they don't be raising them right or something like that.
No, that's actually a fact. You know what's funny? During what year is it? 2020? 2021. One of the kids who used to bully me, he reached out to me. This is like right after I was like posting Firefly Festival with like all the famous people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he apologized to me, and he literally said that I didn't mean to like to attack you the way I did and to say the things I did. Actually, behind the scenes, he was saying how he had like an abusive father, and his mom like left him, and he was like just going through mentally a lot.
Wow.
And he was really taking that out on, just other people.
Yeah.
Which I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
So the movies be true, like they really be real, like.
I guess so.
Bullies be going through stuff.
Yeah. Or no, maybe sometimes some bullies they just be doing it just to be doing it, just to show dominance and power.
Yeah, some people just ain't shit.
No, that's literally a fact.
But that's crazy though, like that he actually reached out. Like I don't really hear a lot of stuff like that, but I ain't surprised. We sitting here with the truth. So yeah. What are some misconceptions people make about you?
Misconceptions. People always think I'm like 27.
What? Why?
Like, dang. At the time, like, I'm definitely 21. Now I'm 23. But.
Right. 27 being 21 is crazy.
It is.
I don't know. Maybe you, like, I guess you give off wise vibes, but.
I do. I've been told that
I'm
my
curious.
whole life.
Like 27?
I have an old soul. I'm really 75. And by heart. Not in the physical.
It would be crazy if all your past lives, like each person knew how to play one of the instruments that you do.
That would be insane.
And then it just all like you like the Avatar. I
saw the whole thing.
That's my shit. I love love that show. Okay, I watched
Dang.
it twice.
I just saw a dirty meme of that. I don't know if I should say it right now, but
Yo,
it was so funny.
the
But
memes
it's
you be
dirty.
posting me wild. Like, your sense of humor just, that should be out of pocket.
It is sometimes. Sometimes it's out of pocket. I cannot lie. Yeah. Like me and Brandon Armstrong, who I think you work. Oh,
Brandon, stop asking me to race you.
what he asked you?
He asking me to race.
Oh,
I'm not doing
oh,
that.
cause you got the car, the Mustang.
I'm not doing
Well, his sense of humor is crazy. We be laughing
it.
at
He the most sarcastic person I ever met.
and that actually kind of pisses me off. Because sometimes I don't catch it.
I catch as soon as I look at his face. As soon as I run into him and I see him look at me, I just don't say anything. Don't start with me.
Yeah.
Like, his whole entire facial expression is sarcasm. Like, so I
It
don't
is.
be knowing.
It is. Oh, man.
But honestly, that was all of the questions that I had.
Oh.
Do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, of course. Let me shout out Arrows. He's about to drop his first EP. Amazing artist from Barbados who moved here 4 years ago. You had to collab with Arrows.
Oh, actually, I didn't know that was how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
He is
It is
lovely.
weird.
His voice is amazing. So definitely shout out to him.
Yeah, it's incredible. I do wonder why he. I'm gonna ask him that. Why do you write Arrows like that? Because it's spelled AERRORS.
Yeah.
So
I don't even actually think I ever like tried to sound it.
I never did either until I heard him say it.
I just didn't know it was that. But okay.
Yeah. Who else? I've been working with this artist named Twano. Yeah, Twano. Oh my God, he's gonna be like, I literally see him 6 years from now being like what J. Cole is today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yes.
I literally.
Yes.
Shout out Twano. Fola.
Hola.
Fola is amazing. Everybody know Fola.
Hola Sade.
Yeah.
Yes.
J1. That's my brother.
Gang.
Let me shout out my partner Adiel. She just dropped her business.
Mm-hmm.
She's Afro-Brazilian American, and in Brazil there's a giant art scene, and she sees that in Baltimore very similar. So she's created this project where she's trying to raise money, to support both ends, and I think eventually, have an artist go over there,
Yeah.
and then their artists come over here, make art, have a gallery. And she just dropped a GoFundMe. I'll send you that. I'll send you the classical composer too, so you can put their name at the bottom. Who else? Yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
Oh,
Well.
and Juba and Brandon
Okay.
and everyone on my team, TT the artist, Mighty Mark, Leon June, Briley Harris, who was one of the people who told me Kanye like shaped his career in high school.
Yeah.
Back to that, and yeah.
Okay. Shout out Kanye. So thank y'all for tuning in to Slim Charlie Records. Here with John Tyler. Thank you so much for coming on here and being our first artist interview. So we will see y'all next week. Thank you.